The state of 154 pounds in boxing today. But first, an update on me. So during the winter, it got so dry, so cold, even the south froze. I wasn't drinking electrolytes like it was the summer. Ended up cramping my back. It was bad, right? It was bad because every movement you take when you cramp your back, I forget what they call it. I think like Scottie Pippen got it, right? Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls. It was like a back strain or something like that. I don't know what it's called. It's basically a cramp. But the back cramped up, couldn't move for like a whole day. Because when your back cramps up, it means everything in your body cramps up too, basically, right? You just don't know it until the back goes. So the the day after, my arms and legs were cramped too. Because I mean, you're talking about basically being not having enough like electrolytes and potassium in your body. I was fully hydrated. I was drinking a lot of water, but I wasn't drinking the minerals with it. And whatever happened yesterday, I feel like I aggravated my back just a little bit, and I'm trying to stay safe because I don't want it to like fully cramp. So yeah, it's it sucks, right? It sucks. So the state of 100. So hold on, let me see. I'm gonna recover. I'm gonna try to rehydrate myself, exercise my back slowly, because when your back cramps up like that, you can't really sit, right? You have to kind of just stand. You have to basically be a stick. You can't slouch or anything like that. And so I was making my video last night, and if even before last night, right? So I felt like the fight was 50-50. Ended up Xander taking a dive, in my opinion. And I was actually hyped for that one. For it, me believing that it might have been a real fight, even though the odds opened up at like 7-1, basically a rigged fight, right? So that's like the 100th strike on me for calling those odds, going against those odds when it was basically already written, right? And I got excited. Felt like my back was about to cramp up again. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't drinking a lot of electrolytes either, right? A lot of water, not a lot of electrolytes. And so, yeah, that sucks. But going into 154, Boots is number two. He's the number two at 154. We're not going to say he's number one because Fundora was there. Yeah, he's got a loss, but he beat up Tim Tszyu twice. And that's basically good enough, right? Xander, I mean, took a lot of low blows, went down from a jab in round one, stood right in front of Boots, didn't even box, didn't even do nothing, right? So going to these things about Ennis getting stunned, which I don't think anybody really predicted any of that, right? I think the only person who said anything about Zayas' punching power was me, saying that, yeah, he can crack, but he's not going to stun you. Boom, Boots gets stunned. Same video I said, he's got a lineage of just weak chins. Whatever it is, it runs in the family, right? So people are saying that, oh, he's right for the taking. I think the only guy who was able to catch Boots and actually beat him was Zayas because of his age and his reflexes, right? So when you're watching him, he could see the punches. He just didn't move out of the way because he chose not to. Which, dumb thing, right? Again, took the money. He probably took the money, speculating, and now he's going on a long vacation because this was the fight that, he probably made a lot of money with. A lot, and probably to a certain regret because that house was just packed. And I don't think that they thought it was going to be as electric as it ended up being. So he ends up doing whatever it is that he did. Be an entertainer, a bad entertainer, for, maybe a higher payday. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. Talking about Oscar versus Boots, or Oscar's dude, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. Never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. The only time it was gonna happen was when both of these guys didn't have a championship. And, Zayas wasn't gonna sell out at that time, right? So, which led to, I believe, Ortiz being the slight A side to Ennis's B side. And now that Ennis has both belts, Ortiz is a nobody. Ortiz is a nobody. Like, what? He's been out for how long? 2 years? 3 years? Madrimov, right? So he fought Madrimov, and that was his real fight. The next one after that was a tune-up. He gets caught into whatever it is, greed. Him and his company get caught into greed. They don't make the Boots fight happen. And it's never going to happen now. And frankly, it shouldn't happen. And now Ortiz is back on the tune-up trail. So his career from 2020, when COVID and, the pandemic lockdowns, and I don't know if he was vaccinated and chose to get vaccinated or not, since then has just been on the slide. Father Time caught up with him 5 years ago. Okay? I was watching True School Sports' dad talking about Father Time catching up with Boots. And to some extent it did, right? With his chin. Same with Zayas. Father Time caught up with Zayas because of his weight and his size. Okay? So time has everything to do with the body also, and fighting at your best weight and all the attributes and all of that stuff, right? So Boots versus Ortiz, never gonna happen unless Ortiz puts himself into a mandatory spot in which he forces the fight. However, at that point, he's like a Z side. He's not even an A side. He's a Z side. And Boots probably just gives up the belt, right? Because there's no reason for Boots to fight Virgil Ortiz now that all of these guys are licking their lips because they saw Boots get hurt many, many times, even though he's been hurt many, many other times. This one by a lighter puncher who was viewed from a guy who was viewed as a lighter puncher in Zayas. However, Zayas' timing, should he have fought? Here's the thing, right? So he was the happiest loser. And when they were asking him, he said he didn't game plan. Like, they didn't practice for what was there. And Jaron Ennis, right? Jaron Ennis didn't do anything different than what he usually does. Which, for Zayas and to say that they didn't plan for any of that stuff is just, I thought it was weird. Now, I made my video after he got punched in the balls. Not punched in the balls, we can see it in the video here. In the actual video, right, Ennis swings low, you don't see his gloves, it looks like a low blow. And then Zayas freezes up, Ennis hits him with a 2-piece. Zayas goes down on a knee. My initial reactions were it was a low blow. Interestingly enough, I believe it was Top Rank had someone recording this. This is the video where it's from, where everybody else took it and then remade it into their own shorts. The original, I'm talking about the original video. I can't find it where it shows this punch right here. It actually lands. It's a low blow. It's a low blow. No, it doesn't land on the genitals, but it's low, right? And he had already hit him so many times. And the thing with the low blows, again, always the low blows. Xander started going low too, but that was after he ate like 10 of them. Right at that point, trying to combat low blows with low blows is a moot point because that ref isn't going to stop it. You know, and at that point, his legs were gone, his punching power was diminished, and he's going low, but to what extent, right? As soon as you go low, he goes low. Okay, Boots Ennis goes low, Zayas goes low to counterattack the low blow. Boots goes low again to counterattack that low blow. You see? And as the person getting low blowed, you're already diminished to the point where all it is you're just making him low blow you even more. You know? And so like that's a style that you can't really prepare for or even fight if a guy just hits you in the nuts as many times as he wants, you know, and gets away with it. So Fundora, I think Fundora versus Ennis, man, that's going to be a shit show because of his length, Fundora's length. Like those low blows are going to be obvious. And Sergio Morris is going to just, oh man, those body shots. Whatever he says. Wait. Are they fighting on DAZN? I think they're Amazon, right? So Amazon handles, I think, Fundora. Amazon and PBC handles Fundora. So they're basically never going to fight either. Same with whoever else is on Amazon. You know, and if that fight were to happen, they would let Ennis low blow the shit out of Fundora because they're trying to poach the next contract out of him to make him the next big thing, whatever it is, right? Their next milking scheme, in my opinion. So the 154-pound division is dead. The only thing you have is Josh Kelly versus Boots. And Boots is probably going to destroy Josh Kelly, even though if you were to rate them, they're probably very close in talent. Josh Kelly probably a whole letter grade above Boots when it comes to just not cheating, basically, right? And listen, I believe whoever it is has Josh Kelly. I think it's Eddie Hearn. He's going to let Josh Kelly lose by low blows. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be bad again. And they're going to have no choice but to just crown Boots the king of 154 according to the money, which is probably going to come from Saudi Arabia, even though they're not giving as much out anymore for free, handing it over for nothing. They'll still crown it because they own the magazine, which was prestigious, was, quote, being seen as prestigious until, I don't know, 2006 or 2007 when De La Hoya bought it, turned it into crap, turned it into his own promotional stuff alongside the person who bought it after that, the Saudi Arabians, who are also turning it into their own stuff, right? So it's illegitimate. It's way more illegitimate now, right? So the thing when it was with Oscar De La Hoya was that they would just crown Canelo as whatever, even though he was like the clear number 2, in my opinion, right? In whatever division he was fighting in. And they would just crown him the king or whatever it is. And when it came to fights that should have been for the ring title, they made bad decisions on not crowning some of those fights that should have been for the ring title, in my opinion. And now they're just crowning anybody as their ring champion just to try to get rid of the other 4 sanctioning bodies, right? So now they're just giving it away, basically. They're going to end up giving Ennis the Ring magazine after he beats Josh Kelly. And it's going to leave Fundora out of the mix. So they want Fundora and all of this stuff. I've seen Fundora fight in person, I think twice maybe. And this was when he was green. Yes, there is such a thing as being green. This was when he was green, and I was a little bit iffy about him, right? Which is why I was a little bit disappointed in the way Zoo handled the second one. But the version of Fundora I saw was when he was like really, really like not even a prospect. He was just building up those first fights, you know? And when you're talking about the body, when it comes to like strengthening and stuff, right? When you watch him train, he trains a lot harder. Well, he trains really hard, but I don't think that he was training like that when he was younger, right? So completely different. What would you call it? Strength level, where it's not like a powerlifting level. It's like a natural strength level. His natural strength is a lot on the screen. Seems to be a lot stronger than I think when I saw him in person. The Towering Inferno, 6'6", whatever, right? So I think that was when was that when Ajaba was fighting some guy and the guy just walked out the ring? Something like that. I don't remember, but that's basically the state of the 154. I'm just rambling. Ennis is going to become the number 1 after they feed Josh Kelly to him. He's not going to fight anybody. He's not going to fight anybody noteworthy because he can't get Fundora. Fundora's on Amazon. They're going to try to keep Fundora as the number 1. They're going to try, and boy, they're trying to bring back Errol Spence, right? Errol Spence. They're trying to bring him back. He is badly brain damaged. Whatever it was before he fought Terrence Crawford, it was bad, right? His brain damage was bad, and after Crawford, it's even worse, you know. And he was talking about him having a bad camp and all of this, all of the stuff that a little bit of what I saw, right? I didn't see too much. I just saw him giving his excuses as to why he lost. That wasn't why he lost. He lost because he was badly brain damaged. When he took a jab and he was gone, right? He was gone from that ring. So PBC is going to try to bring back Errol Spence laughably against Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu at probably the worst stage of his career mentally. They think Spence is going to break him down. And man, I'm not going to get into that. I'll get into that later. They're going to try to make Spence fight Fundora and make Spence the winner, which it's a long road for Spence, considering how much brain damage he has and his age. He's like 38, which, I mean, holy cow, right? They're going to try to bring him back. It's hilarious. The 154-pound division is dead. And it's cringeworthy watching Oscar try to praise Boots like he's going to get that fight with Virgil Ortiz, right? And Virgil Ortiz, like I said, is a nobody right now. He's not going to get to fight anybody. He's going to be for a forever prospect, fighting forever tune-ups for whatever money it is that they what do you call it, renegotiated, And so for Golden Boy to renegotiate that contract when there was to give Ortiz more money when there's no fights on the horizon is just stupid, And when we're looking at the monetary situation with Floyd Mayweather and how Oscar was making fun of Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather was also making fun of Oscar for being also in the same spot, losing the Golden Boy building, right? That they were, quote, renting or something like that for like 25 years or something like that, which, I mean, that sucks for them, right? That sucks for them, but Oscar was trying to put his hand in Virgil Ortiz's cookie jar and take that money for himself, in my opinion, And I think Ortiz knew that, and it's just the 154-pound division is dead. Thanks for watching.